Hello Stampers and welcome to Laura's Stamp Pad. I am so excited. It's Monday and the sun is shining, and today I'm going to assemble some cards so that I can have them ready for Happy Mail. So I actually have done all the stamping because I wanted to get all the stamping done so I could put all the stamps and inks and everything away. But I am going to be doing all of the assembling today with you guys on Laura's Dose of Stamping Therapy. Hi Susan, welcome. Happy Monday. Did you guys all have a wonderful weekend? I did have a great weekend, minus getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. Gosh, they love me so much, and it's very, very annoying and frustrating. I woke up this morning and I told my husband that I can't go outside for at least 2 or 3 more days because my body needs a rest on all of the mosquito bites. I have probably 20 or so, and I like to get it down around 5. So here's one of the really funny things about it. I feel like they're all on my left side, and I don't understand that. But they are on my left arm and my left leg. And I have them like all over my elbow and like my forearm and then all down my leg. And I told you guys about that bug sucker thing that I got. It's called a bug bite thing, I think is what it is. But it's a suction thing, and it's really hard to suction things like your elbows because it's too bony and it can't get a good suction. So while I do think that that thing does work pretty well, at least it lightens it a little bit for me, and so I'll take that. I can't do it whenever it's on my elbow or on my ankle or something. I'm so glad you had a good weekend making cards. That's awesome. So for this one, we're just going to tie this little bit of ribbon. I feel like there's more white space on the bottom here, around on the bottom, and do a double knot. Oh yes, I forgot to tell you guys, I do have a picture, so I will post pictures of it after I get off of here, depending on how much time we have, and before nap time. Oh, but I did make the lemon cake, and it's very lemon-y. Oh, so lemon-y. But the cake was not good. Everybody else seemed to say it was fine. So maybe it's just me. But yeah, the cake was not done right. And I kind of know why, or have reasons on why I think it didn't turn out very well. I only had I have one round 9-inch pan. And, hi Karen, welcome. And it needed 2 8-inch pans. Well, what's the difference? 8-inch, 9-inch, it's okay. So I really don't think that was the big deal. I think what the problem was is the making the cake and then letting it sit around for 30 minutes while the other one cooked. So it kind of deflated and lost some of its oomph, which made it a denser cake. The other thing is, I don't know. I want to say that it sat around too much because I would totally rewrite this recipe completely different if I was doing it. But I made the cakes. Then I made the curd. Well, the curd needed to warm up to, or like get to room temperature and then go in the fridge for 3 hours. What? That's like 5 hours to make the curd then, because it takes a smidge to make it. It takes a smidge to warm up to room temperature, and then 3 hours in the fridge. So I kind of felt like my cakes like sat around too many hours without being like iced or anything like that. And so that, and the denseness on the fact that it sat around and to be cooked, and either way, it was like everybody said, oh, it's almost just more like a pound cake, like a thicker, like denser cake. I think it just was dried out and dense and gross. But I love a like melt in your mouth, super squishy, like moist, soft cake. So I don't know. But the lemon curd was amazing, and the lemon icing was to die for. I also almost cut my arm off putting it on. Hi, Laura. Welcome. So stupid. I mean, we've all been there before, but so I had it on a cake stand, and I had my hand on the edge of the cake stand, as you can see, my hand. And I was putting a chunk of the cake into a container so that my in-laws could take it home with them. And it was like kind of stuck to the cake stand. So I just like ran the knife along the bottom, and it was stuck. And so I pushed harder, and then it let loose, and like I scratched right there, and then just like took off a little hair of skin right there. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Like I totally just took a knife to my hand, but it was good. Like Brad was standing right there holding the container for me, and he was like, what just happened? He's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine, it's okay. So yeah, that was kind of crazy. It looked pretty good. The other problem that I had with it is, so you were supposed to do the 2 8-inches, and oh, I need to poke out a few of those. You were supposed to do the 2 8-inches and cut those in half to make like a 4-tiered cake. And because I did the 9 inches and they were fairly skinny, squatty, short, however you want to call it, thin. So I only did those 2 layers. Well, that means all of the curd had to go in one layer, the middle layer, rather than a little icing, a little icing. So there was a lot of curd. I mean, I thought it was fine, a fine amount, but I didn't, like Brad had said that maybe this would have been a good idea, is to put the curd on, put it back in the fridge, and let it kind of set up a little, because there was so much curd that when I went to ice it, it was like squishing out. So I wasn't very happy about that. So I didn't really get to like decorate it like really fancy on the outside, because I really just like smoothed and smeared it around and kind of gave it like a little like textury foo-foo, and called it a day because I didn't want to push and squish anymore and have the curd squish out the side. But how many of you guys love lemon stuff? Do you love lemon? What's your favorite cake? Mine is vanilla or funfetti, but I do love this lemon stuff too. I'm not a chocolate cake fan. Sorry. My family, big chocolate cake fans. Actually, I really like a lemon cake or like a yellow cake. I don't even know if it's lemon. It's not lemon. It's just a yellow cake mix with a white icing. My grandma used to make that all the time, and I don't know. I like that. But a lot of times I tend to make funfetti because I like sprinkles. Brad is anti-sprinkles. But I like them. The more, the merrier. So yeah, that's probably my favorite. I think if I were to make this again, I really like cupcakes because there's no cutting. There's just this like mini decoration. And if you mess up on one, then, you know, you eat it and toss it aside. Whereas if you mess up on the cake, it's the cake. It is the cake. So everybody can see your mistake. So, I like cupcakes for that like mini, like I can make a mistake or I can test it out and do good, and then, you know, by the 5th one I've nailed it. I'll put the jewels on these later, I guess, because I don't know where my jewels are. But oh, here's the first set. So I have the gilded gems on there, and I just assembled those. This uses the ornate garden stamp set. You could, of course, always color it in, but I did it all in terracotta tile. So terracotta tile on that die cut as well as on the ribbon. 3 cards done. My comments, of course, aren't scrolling. You love lemon cake? Oh, lemon meringue. You know, to be honest, I have not made a meringue pie. I'm surprised. I really need to. One other surprise here. If you guys know me very well, you know I make cupcakes all the time. This was actually the first time I've made a cake from scratch. Now, I modify cake mixes a lot, but an actual from scratch without a box, this was the first time. And you know what? I'm not impressed because it didn't work out well, but it could have been my fault. It's totally my fault. The other weird thing is, so when you make a cake from scratch, you cream your butters and sugars, and then you add in the milk, and then, or, you know, like your wet ingredients, and then you add in the dry ingredients, and you know, slowly combine them. Well, there was milk, lemon juice, and lemon zest. And they told me to put the lemon juice in the milk so that and the zest, all of that was like in, all your like wet ingredients were together and you weren't like piecing it. And of course, if you guys are catching my drift, the lemon juice, of course, curdles the milk. That was gross. Like, I was like pouring it and I was like, isn't this going to curdle the milk? And I'm like, I reread, like, you know, yep, that's what you're supposed to do. So I put it in, set it aside, got going, and then I started pouring it in and I was like, oh, because it was like splat, like it was gross. Yeah. You're not a chocolate person either, Susan. We could go for desserts together. Yeah, never seconds on a chocolate. Like, I could do it, but hi, Christina. You're a chocolate girl. Well, you would fit in very well with my family. Yeah, they're big chocolate fans. I don't know. I guess all the chocolate ran out by the time it got to me. I'm the third child, so. But I'm just not, like, I could pass on chocolate probably anytime. But like sprinkles or cupcakes, can't pass on that. Or like just sugary candy, that's my jam. So this one uses that fabulous Forever Fern stamp set. So I just kind of created a little bouquet, if you will, on the bottom down there. You're liking that card? Then, so this one, yeah, uses the Forever Fern. And I use, so this is Pretty Peacock, and this is Pear Pizzazz. So Pretty Peacock, Pear Pizzazz, Blackberry Bliss, and Garden Green on the bottom. And the greetings were stamped in Blackberry Bliss. So I have to ask, because I don't remember what made me think of it, but right before I got on, I thought, oh, what's everybody's favorite ice cream topping? I guess is how I'll say this. I love caramel. I love, oh, I remember what it was. I saw this on my desk as I was getting ready to start this video. And this is the little plastic or, you know, wrapper from my Ghirardelli caramel that I had whenever I was down here over the weekend. And I was like, oh, I just love caramel. And so then I thought, well, what question could I add that would be about caramel, but for everyone else? So I thought, oh, ice cream toppings. So yeah, let me know what your guys' favorite ice cream topping is, or let me know if you just love caramel as much as me. Soft caramels, like even like hard chewy caramels, like I'll just suck on, although I'm really not that good on that. I usually tend to like chew on hard candy. I know that's horrible for your teeth, but I do love like caramel and like a homemade waffle cone or like a fresh waffle cone. I could care less about the ice cream. Just give me like a warm waffle cone that's fresh and caramel dipping sauce, and I would be happy. Big lemon fans? I'm glad so many of you guys are lemon fans. I love lemon. Yeah, I love lemonade. I cannot eat a lemon though. I've seen people like eat a lemon like a apple. No, that's not me. Caramel and ice cream? Caramel can't. Look at you guys. You guys all love caramels as much as me. Yeah. The caramel Ghirardellis, Brad actually got them for me for Mother's Day, and I still haven't eaten them. So now I'm eating them. I don't know why it's taking me this long. It was one of those things that like the package wasn't open, and to open it would be dangerous. So it just wasn't open. It just wasn't open. And now I've opened it, and so it's like I've opened a whole can of worms. So there I just did those cute little loops. I'll kind of explain as I get off my caramel train how I did that on the second one. And you could always add like a little mini glue dot if you really wanted those to stay nice and secure in, you know, a certain spot or something like that. Look at all you caramel fans out there. Wow, the next time I do an event, I'll definitely have to have caramels then. I'm so excited that you guys all love caramel as much as me. Yeah, like caramel ice cream sauce. There is a brownie bar, if you call it, because it's not a cookie, that my family makes that my dad really likes, and I love caramel, and it's got caramel in it. So, and they're actually really easy to make. So I've made those fairly often because I didn't really know that my dad liked them. So now that I know that, I can make them all the time. And Claire is really good at taking the wrappers off of the caramels. So if she can work on that while I'm doing everything else, then that's great. Keeps her occupied for a long time. But they're called caramel Illini bars. Don't ask me where that name came from. I'm sure they're probably called 500 other things, as is a lot of baking things. But it's like a German chocolate cake mix and some nuts and butter and evaporated milk. And that kind of makes like a brownie batter. And so you press half of that into a pan, bake it for like 10 minutes, then pour the caramel sauce over the top, or like melted caramels because it's caramels and more evaporated milk. And then sprinkle some chocolate chips. Put the rest of the brownie batter like on top. Like I kind of like smush it into like little like pieces and then set it in so it's kind of marbled looking because it's not complete coverage. And then bake it again. So there's really nothing, like there's no eggs or anything to like actually cook out of it. It's really just like drying it out, I guess. But yeah, they're so like ooey gooey, yummy, delicious. So strawberries on ice cream. Claire would be all about that. She loves strawberries on ice cream. So I'm just wrapping this around, this twine around my fingers. And I kind of spread my fingers apart just a hair because I want my like loops to be bigger than, I want them to be bigger than just this. So see, they're a lot bigger than if I did that. So that's why I just spread my fingers apart a little bit. Wrap it around as many times as you want. Whenever I'm using the like metallic thread, I go around like 100 times. Okay, more like 15, 10 to 15. This stuff is a little bit thicker, so I went around 4 times, but it's like twice as thick, so kind of the same. And then I look at my greeting and set the loops down because I want them to go off to the one side. And I'm going to secure the ends. So both of my ends are over here. I hope I'm in view. Yeah. And secure it with a dimensional. Oops, I didn't get that end. So now I can kind of let go, but I'm going to continue securing it with dimensionals. So I can always double check. And like I can really let them like flow all around, or I can kind of put them more together. But again, it's all just securing it with the back with dimensionals, and you're also adding the dimensionals to secure it to your card front. but the thread is underneath. It's between the dimensional and the cardstock of the greeting. So let's see. Let's pull these two random ones. So this one, like I really flared it out. So I'm going to have to drop it down a little bit farther away from the corner of my card because of that to make sure all the loops actually stay. So for this one, the original, all the loops are fairly in the same place. And I actually put like a little mini glue dot right there so that they wouldn't like bounce around because... well, this one is just like on the top side, so it's pretty good. But my other one, like they really like flopped out, which is why I put the little mini glue dot there. This one's pretty good, I think, because they're more rounded out. And then this one, the loops are absolutely giant. So I put that greeting down a lot farther, and you can see my loops are like much bigger. But like you can always modify the loops and squish and squeeze them and kind of put them wherever you want them to go. So just add some like texture and everything to your card rather than just that thin little twine. And this stuff is very ravelly. What's the word I'm trying to think of? I don't know, but it comes unraveled. It's like a little braided gold stuff. But it frays. It frays really easily. So that's why I kind of like to use both ends and secure them down, because I'm afraid that if I like tied a knot with it, then the ends would just fray and they wouldn't look as pretty. Whoop. So our bathroom project just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's crazy. Also, if you're just jumping on, welcome to Laura's Dose of Stamping Therapy. This is just a chit chat and stamping, or actually today we're actually just assembling. If you have any questions along the way, definitely let me know in the comments and I will answer those. Otherwise, I'll just chit chat about our weekend. Or whatever crazy things come to mind, because that happens all the time. But yeah, I think I've always heard that like one project leads to another, which leads to another. It really does. So our flooring got put in on Friday. Woo woo! Loving it. And that part is complete, I think. Should be. So we need to put our trim back and put the toilet in. Well, we were like, well, let's put the trim at least behind the toilet before we put the toilet in. And then we can work on the rest of the trim, like around the door and stuff. Well, the tub is pushed back like an inch, probably about an inch, farther than the old tub was, so the trim doesn't fit anymore. And who knows, the trim is from like, 20 years ago. So can't really find trim that matches. I suggested pulling out some of the trim from our basement and that project that we have and just using a piece of that, and then we'll deal with it when we start working on the basement. Well, that's a different trim, just by a hair. Like the one is like a bump, 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 and the other one's like a bump, bump. Why do there have to be so many different bump styles on trim? It's so crazy. So now we've bought all new trim. So we have to paint and cut that. I am not a handyman. So like I want all this done, but I don't know how to do it myself. So I'm kind of like a picky foreman. And so I'm telling Brad, like, oh, you know, shouldn't you do it like this? And here's this. And can you start working on that now? The other hard part is a lot of times we get most of our stuff done after Claire goes to bed or during nap time. But this bathroom is right next door to her bedroom. So there's definitely no hammering or anything going on during that time. And I don't really want to be like out in the garage working on stuff since I get eaten alive at 8:15 at night or something like that. Usually she goes to bed at like 8. So Brad's usually done putting her down by 8:15. And that's usually, those 2 times are usually the times that I work the most because, again, that's when you get the most done. So, yeah, that's interesting and fun is how I will put that. I'm about ready to like hire a handyman to just come and I'll just pay him by the day to do all these random projects. The other thing that's really hard to do is shop together and figure out what we want when we're not all shopping together. So like Brad will run to Home Depot and take pictures of stuff and send it to me, and I try to make a decision and he tries to wing it. So there I put like a little mini glue dot under there since these loops were a little bit more. And so it secures it down and it's not flapping all over. So yeah, that all has been so much fun. So there's the 3 cards for that one and the original and the random leftover pieces. So yeah, if you guys have ever dealt with that, then let me know how it goes. Or if trim is no fun. And like, I just all want it done like 2 days ago. But patience. Still working on that daily. I think I was given 0 patience when I was born. And then God thought he would put me together with Mr. 100% patience. Because Brad has so much patience. Although it's so funny, I sometimes have more patience with Claire than he does. And I'm just like, really? But you know, it's just one of those things that certain things like drive you nuts and other things don't. And so it's the day. It literally is each day. I'm like, I'm done. I can't handle it anymore. And then there's days that he's like that too. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. She's been good all day. So yeah, let me know what major project you've ever done in your house that you're so glad it's done and over with. Our neighbors down the street are redoing their entire first floor. I'm like, keep telling me about this so I don't feel so bad about mine and I feel worse for you. So they have like moved everything upstairs and she said it will probably take 2 months. They're knocking out walls and everything. I'm like, oh my. I think I would have to go on vacation or move out. I don't know that I could do 2 months of not having your entire downstairs, including your kitchen. Like, I want to redo our kitchen here with all this going on right now, years and years down the road, I'm sure. But I want to redo our kitchen, but I'm also like, oh, I'm so not looking forward to that. So yeah, let me know what big house projects you've ever done, whether you had somebody else do them or whether you tried to do them or did do them yourself. And if you did, let me know if you're for hire so you can come do our projects. But yeah, I'm interested to hear what kind of projects you guys have done. Now, my parents are currently living in a camper because they're building a house. So you have that too. At least I still have my home. Yeah, it's a crazy thing for sure. So this one, I absolutely love this card and I love these colors. all the different shades of blues and things. But this uses the Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper, and I just stamped that cute little couple on the front. And I actually did that one on dimensionals, but the original has this one smooth and the greeting on dimensionals. It doesn't matter. You can put dimensionals on anything. But here's the original. I love this card, even though like I feel like it's totally like me and Brad. And so why would I need like a million of these cards to send out to people? Because that's me and Brad. And I'm not going to say like, this is me and Brad, but happy anniversary. But I do really like the sentiment and that cute little couple hugging and stuff like that. So. Not a card that I would need to make like 50 of, but a cute little card to have on hand. Thank you, Carol. That's very sweet of you. And this one actually has little jewels on it too, which I'll have to dig out. And these little jewels are from the holiday rhinestones. I didn't actually stamp on the inside, but I also think that this card could go for a lot of different things, so I'm not sure what greeting I would want to do. Like wedding or engagement or anniversary or just a hard time. I think this would be a really good card to send someone who maybe was going through a miscarriage or something like that. Having gone through one myself, I know that it's very difficult, and you know, there's no words to say hardly, but you still want to acknowledge the moment. I'm actually ripping off some of these dimensionals because since I dimensionalized it, and then I don't want it like double dimensional, so I'm just gonna pull these and move them in a little. Well, that one I mangled too much. But it would be a good card for that, which it is National Rainbow Baby Day on Saturday. And if you didn't know, a rainbow baby is a baby after an infant loss or miscarriage. So we have our little Claire as our little rainbow baby. So she's our forever rainbow baby. And yeah, I'm super excited to celebrate her on Saturday. And our church actually used to do, or like they did it like 2 years in a row, and then they didn't do it last year. And I was like, what? And I don't know what they're doing this year. I'm probably not anything since the times that we're in. But they had a mass for all of those babies, and you could light a candle for the name and everything. So, of course, I was like, I feel like I need to go, but I was like, I know I'm going to be a hot mess the whole time. And yeah, I was a hot mess the whole time, but it was a very, very sweet thing. So it was good. You remodeled your kitchen and 4 bathrooms. Deep breath. That was probably an experience for sure. Wow, that is crazy. Yeah, the kitchen remodel I'm excited about because I want it to happen. But we're going to have to wait until my mom and dad's house is done and maybe go live with them for a while. Or at least like me and Claire while Brad stays down here and lives in the chaos, just because I think that would be nuts. But yeah, like I said, I think it'll be a few years, so Claire will be older and everything else. But yeah, it'll be something that'll probably happen down the road, or at least I hope. I don't know. There's one cabinet that has our spices in it, and I'm so short, and every time I get in that cabinet and pull something out, everything falls out. And the other day, I was making ranch. So we buy the ranch powder from Sam's and make our own ranch. And so it's the ranch powder, mayonnaise, and milk. And the ranch powder fell out into my bowl of milk and mayonnaise, and the milk and mayonnaise just went It was a hot mess everywhere, and I was just like, I hate this cabinet. I'm never getting in it again. Like, I almost just pulled all the spices out and, like, threw them someplace else. Like, just because I'm not using that cabinet. Brad's like, I never have a problem. I'm like, yeah, you're tall. I'm not. So when I reach into the cabinet, I'm reaching at an angle, and you're reaching level. So I pull everything out, and you pull everything out evenly. It was a disaster. And it was one of those things that just kind of, you know, makes you cranky. I was trying to do a good thing, and I was like on a roll of like cleaning and getting things done, and then that happened, and it was like, now I have to start all over again on the cleaning and the chaos and everything else. So yeah, it was just nuts, but you'll have that. It's okay. I survived. So those are our sets of 3 cards. So now I have Happy Mail to send out and get in the mail. I did send quite a few cards over the weekend out, and some birthday cards this week. My father-in-law's birthday is tomorrow, so that's kind of exciting. So yeah, I hope you guys all send out Happy Mail too. Just know that the recipient of that card is probably loving it, and it means the world to them. So you might think it's a simple card that just says, hi, thinking of you, or hope you have a great day, but it really does make people's days. So I recommend that you send out Happy Mail to make someone's day. So yeah, this one's a very blank card that you could send out for anything, and then to a friend that makes me smile, and then of course embrace each moment. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's Laura's Dose of Stamping Therapy and my crazy chit chat. I will leave a photo of the cake that I made. It looks a lot better than it tastes, I feel like, but I will leave a photo of that on my Facebook after I get off of here, so you can always check that out there. If you are watching the replay or watching this on YouTube, then definitely still comment. I love reading the comments and responding to all of you guys. So definitely still do that. And I will be back here on Wednesday at 12:15 for more of Laura's Dose of Stamping Therapy. So I hope you guys will have a wonderful day. Love, hugs, and prayers, and stay safe and stay healthy. You guys are all amazing, and I love chatting with you guys. So have a great day. Bye-bye.